shows. Hi, this is Jenny Hudson bringing you the Author Connection, the voice of independent authors. And tonight I am delighted to have Charlotte Pierce with me as my guest. And Charlotte is the president of IPNE, which is Independent Publishers of New England. And she is a publisher herself and has actually written some books. And she is a member of IBPA. I am going to turn this over to her and let her tell you all about it. So welcome.
Yeah, you can feel free to ask me questions.
Oh, yeah, I may jump in there a little bit.
Okay, great.
So,
yeah.
So Charlotte, before we get too much into this, could you explain what IPNE is and what that brings to authors and publishers around New England?
Well, IPNE is the Independent Publishers of New England. It's the acronym IPNE. So we've been going for about 10 years in this form as an organization that supports, provides networking opportunities and educational opportunities for independent publishers.
That's fantastic. So what kinds of educational opportunities and networking opportunities?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
see, as you know that being a publisher of independent authors yourself, we often work alone, so it's good for us to get out and about and see real people.
yeah, that's always good, right?
People. So we provide a monthly workshop for our Metro Boston group. We have a weekly coffee hour in Arlington, Massachusetts. We do cover the 6-state region, so we have other opportunities.
Excuse me, there's a weekly coffee hour in Arlington?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I'm a member of IPNE and I did not know what
It's on the...
It's on the website. Okay, and what is the website?
The website is IPNE.org.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's an easy one to remember if you know the acronym. But yeah, so we have that, and then we have a whole boatload of events coming up, major events that help independent authors.
Right, and I think some of these events are great for authors and publishers, and so I'd like you to talk about them. And what's the first one?
The first one is our 5th annual conference on September 25th and 26th in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
It's a big one this year.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. It's going to be in historic Portsmouth, which attracts is attracting a lot of people just for the kind of things they can do in the area.
And
so,
where's it being held?
At the Sheraton Harborside.
Oh, so it's right in the middle of everything.
It certainly is, yeah. It's right by the Strawberry Bank Museum.
Oh, wow.
So that will start Friday night with we have our 2nd annual book awards will be announced then. The deadline for the book awards, if you want to enter, is July 31st. So
now,
that's this Friday.
Is this just for members of IPNE, or can anybody enter this?
Anybody can enter the book awards. There is a special price, I believe, for members and another price for non-members. So it does pay to join if you are going to be exhibiting and participating in a lot of our.
And so what are the categories for the book awards?
Oh boy, I think there's 15 categories last year at the first ones. And well, there's fiction, nonfiction, genre fiction, also like romance or speculative fiction. Coffee table books, there's an award for publicity and marketing. Cover design, interior design. So there's a lot of opportunities. If you have a book that you're really proud of or is an important book, it's a good opportunity to get one of these stickers.
Oh, all right. Let me take this over here and use this fancy thing.
Yeah,
here,
oh,
yes.
cool, yeah.
So, yeah,
That
there's a
is,
sticker.
when you win, or when you're a finalist or you win the award, you get a sticker to put on your books. And we also promote it on our website and all sorts of different ways that we have to get the word out about the books.
So this helps an author market their book because it shows that they
Absolutely.
have some
And then they put the,
validation.
you can put the award, award-winning, you know how that it just gets people's attention.
Oh,
It's-
absolutely.
And every advantage you can have, because there's like hundreds of thousands of books published every year. And
It's worse all the time. It's
Yeah.
a very crowded
because everyone
space.
can publish now,
I know.
but not everyone can successfully market on their own. And that's what IPNE helps people do.
Right, and not everyone can successfully publish either. I mean, a lot you can put a book out, but it's not necessarily the best thing. And IPNE also has
Yeah.
workshops on how to make your book better, doesn't it?
Absolutely. We'll have some of those at the conference. There on Saturday, the second day of the conference, there are concurrent workshops, so you can choose, if you want to do marketing or the business side of publishing or interior design or something, or ebooks, you can choose one of those.
Oh, so interior design is, just to clarify, it's not your house.
Yeah, it's
the inside of your book.
It's the inside of the book, and if somebody's going by in a bookstore, I think they figure they have 5 seconds to get their attention. And if they open up your book you're lucky if they open it up, but if they look at the cover and it's not grabbing their attention, they're just going to go on by.
Yeah, that expression, don't judge a book by its cover, is, it's ridiculous because
Yeah.
it's not ridiculous, but I mean, everybody does judge a book by its cover when it comes to books.
If you have sufficient faith in your book, invest in the cover, because that will get people into your book to read it and get the message that you're trying to put out.
Also the interior, because there are a lot of little tricks that if you are a publisher, when you look at a book that it was self-published and not published well, because, and I mean, I look honestly back at the first books I did,
I know.
and I'm thinking,
know.
oh my God, I did not know what I did not know. And, I see this with authors all the time. They think they know everything. And, if you're going to have a book that's going to compete in the marketplace, and if you want to give yourself half a fighting chance, it's got to be good.
It's like one of our speakers at the conference a few years ago said, David Godine, who's a very wonderful publisher, and just the last of the true gentleman publishers, I think he's called.
Yeah.
But he said, if you don't take that care, you're privishing and not publishing. Because if you're publishing, you want to get it out, you want it to be received well.
Yes.
And that's the first step.
It sure is. So then what's the second step? And what
Well,
can IPNE do to help
there are a lot of
authors?
simultaneous steps.
That's right.
And this is what's hard for solo authors and what do we call authorpreneurs now,
That's right.
and small publishers. Simultaneous with it, basically almost the writing of the book, and certainly the production is the promotion and marketing of the book. And there are many, 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 many people out there who want to help you with that, but not everyone can successfully do that.
Yeah, again, it's a very crowded market space. And I know when I first started in the self-publishing business, it was very early on and there wasn't a lot going on. And now, I mean, every 2 minutes I get something in my inbox from someone trying to sell me some sort of a service, and I can't even look at it,
Yeah, I think you have to keep your eyes on the prize, and really, kind of focus on what you want the message you want to get out through your book. And then what we coach people on, I mean, we don't actually coach, we coach each other. We provide these workshops, we bring in experts, we help each other. But is building an author platform.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I stress this to people all the time
I know.
because it's, first of all, it's so hard to write a book in the first place, and it's overwhelming to think that, okay, this is only part of it, and I'm supposed to be doing all this stuff at the same time.
Exactly.
And it is overwhelming for authors. And then
Right.
But then if they don't do it, they
Mhm.
publish the book and there's nobody there to
Mhm.
buy the book, and then they feel like a failure. So
But if you have an author platform, which is part of just your general interest in your area,
Yes.
you know, like I always use the example of Kathleen Colvin, who's an author in out of Oregon, and I met on Google Plus, the social
Wow.
media platform, and she just impresses me so much because she writes novels about historical fiction novels about the Roman and classical Roman times. I think Roman, maybe Greek too, but so her platform consists of just finding cool stuff about the Roman times that relates to now. So I often see her posting something about, I don't know, makeup in the Roman, what they did or sandals, the history of sandals, and
it's clever.
it's clever, and it every time I see that, it connects me with her as an author.
Right, and people who are interested in anything about that are going to follow her, and it gives her.
And they're going to see that she has
credibility.
depth.
Yes, yeah.
And that it's worth investing their precious time in reading her books.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing, is to sort of gather your tribe and
Yep.
to find people who are really going to be
Mhm.
thrilled with your book.
Right, and it has a lot to do with the crew, the support system that you get around you. If you can't do something well, like social media, then you get somebody to help you.
Right, so IPNE is good for that, because if you are an author as well as a publisher, you can go to IPNE
Mhm.
and you can find people who are actually service providers and learn
Yep.
to trust, because you develop relationships with them, and you know
Mhm.
who you can trust and who's going to be good, and
Yeah.
you know what the deal is. So that's a good thing. So a little more on the conference. How much does the conference cost, and how do people sign up?
Well, if you go to IPNE.org, it will
Again,
scream
yes.
at you from the homepage.
Sign up here!
But sign up. And then we have the speakers that are confirmed so far are listed on a link on that homepage. So you'll see what the topics are. One is the who holds the power in publishing?
Aha.
Is it the reader? Is it the publisher? Is it the distributor? Who's got the gateway now?
Yeah, it's changed.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. And I met those guys at IBPA, the conference. IBPA is our national organization that we're affiliated with.
Which stands for?
Independent Book Publishers Association. It's formerly the Publishers Marketing Association, but it's changed a few years ago into IBPA. Awesome organization.
It is. I'm
Awesome.
a member of both also.
Yes.
So
And we have a collaborative or a cooperative exchange of membership, so they get a discount with us and we get a discount with them.
right, and if you are, I know, a member of IBPA, you do get all kinds of discounts on all kinds of things.
I know, FedEx, printing, it's really amazing.
FedEx, really? I
Yeah,
haven't used that one.
I know.
Really?
I mean, you
Okay.
can ship books
So-
for a lot less. It takes a little legwork to kind of get the code and get it into your FedEx account and stuff, but it's really worth it. And we've just struck another association with APSS, which is the Association of Publishers for Special Sales.
Right.
And they have another set of national discounts. It's a national organization, so they have a FedEx discount too. I don't know if you can overlap them or not.
Yeah, pretty soon FedEx will pay you to ship your
Yeah.
packages.
right. Yeah. But,
Yeah. So IBPA is actually the publisher of a magazine, which I look forward to. It's called The Independent.
The
And
Independent's
even if you
awesome.
just join for that, I think that, for an author who is trying to publish, or for a publisher who's trying to learn about the business, it's extremely helpful.
I always learn something. And I've been in publishing for a while, but I'm just restarting my publishing company this year, and everything has changed.
It has.
Everything. And so that helps.
So actually, let's talk about you. So, okay, so how did you get started as a publisher?
My family's been in publishing a lot. It's just kind of in my brain. I'm a word person. And I started out in magazines. I worked at a magazine in Seattle and then one in New York. So when I moved up here to the Boston area, I started freelancing, and then I, fell in love, got married, and had kids. And I started collecting.
Typical.
Typical.
Right?
I started collecting places to go with kids, and that became my first book in collaboration with a very wonderful author named Robin Schoenthaler, whose kids were also at our school.
So you fell in love with Boston too.
I did.
Yeah.
It's called The Day Tripper, and we've got a new edition about to come out. So,
Oh, fantastic!
yeah, so I want to, I'll be back on the show to plug that. But that's called The Day Tripper Greater Boston, and we also have one we're developing for Cape Cod. So that's in our Day Tripper books imprint on Pierce Press, which is my company.
Great.
And we also have the Pedagogy Handbook, Pedagogy books. This is how you, as an author, this is how you hold your book.
Yes, but I'm going to put it on
That's
here.
fun, yeah.
And then
And the people can
see
actually
that.
read it.
Yeah.
This is a collaborative effort project called the Pedagogy Project, which was started by, kind of instigated by Howard Rheingold, one of the internet's pioneers, networking pioneers and community people. And we have a hangout a video conference every week on Mondays at 1 p.m. Where we have people basically from around the world, usually 4 to 8 people.
Wow.
And we will work on collaboratively editing some of the chapters in the book. On Friday, we're going to be working on the production of the new version of the handbook, so it'll be version 3.
And what is this about?
It's about peer learning and peer production.
Okay.
So it's about how to get techniques for getting a group of people together to collaborate and with little investment of capital, really, cash, to produce something or to learn something.
So you are actually practicing what you preach.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes, that's very interesting.
This book is a pedagogy
Yes.
enterprise.
Right. So this is something organizations could use, or
Yeah,
people who are
yeah.
trying to
People are starting
collaborate.
to notice it. It's just so much fun because you get together with people from all over the world. Like there's Mexico. We had a video conference with our editor in Mexico, and
Now, how did you hook up with all these people?
then I took an online course with Howard Rheingold.
Okay.
He was running an online course, and they had taken it, or they had been associated with his courses, and they were in one of the forums and just kind of wondering who was there, and I said, this sounds interesting, let's put a book together.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I know. Isn't that how publishers think, though? If something's
Yeah.
interesting, and
Yeah.
let's make a book.
And it's so cool because now people are reading it and they're saying, wow, I can really use these techniques to
Yeah.
put together something collaborative.
Right. And actually, back to what I just said, I think once you learn how to publish
Mm-hmm.
and you learn how to put a book together, then it's not a huge mountain to climb.
Right. And it's just like anything, it's just one step at a time. You just learn, and when you don't know something, you find out from someone else.
Right. But once you learn, then you can do it. So what else have you got over there?
These are some books. These 2 books are they won a couple of awards. A member of ours, Paul Jansen, and they're, I think, more. I haven't read them, but they're more of a sort of detective type books.
Okay.
And
Correct.
he's sending those for the tomorrow. We'll be appearing at the New England Authors Expo.
Oh, I'm going to be there too. I'll have to
I
see him.
heard.
So, and this one is
Now, practice. That's one that was a finalist at the.
by the same guy.
Yeah. He's got 2 books.
Okay.
Well, actually, he's got 3, I think. He's got something called The Ice Cream Wars coming out too.
Whoa. And what's this one?
That's the blog to book one that we were talking about earlier. This is something you have to be careful about. It's an easy way to create a book, just blogging, and then every once in a while you gather the blog posts together and put it in a book form. But, it can be a little disjointed. I've seen blog to book books that are just not, they don't hang together.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a danger of just putting a bunch of random things together
Yeah.
and having them
Yeah.
not be thematically connected. And so if you have something that's going to hold them
Yeah.
together, it can definitely work.
Right, and this is about weight loss, so, it does have a theme, and it's, I
It's a
haven't,
weighty subject. Ha, ha, ha.
again, these just came in the mail, so I haven't read them, but, yeah, it's nicely designed. It's really nicely designed. But, yeah.
Well, that's great. So you have a pretty busy life being president of IPNE and being a publisher. And I know you have a teenager. And
Yes.
Yeah.
When my son is gonna be 21 and my
And
daughter's
yours-
15.
Oh my goodness. And so what is there for you that is, what do you do for you that's fun?
Oh, I do rowing.
Oh, you
Oh
do?
my God, that is just like, it's transformed my life. It's
Really?
just- yeah. You just get on the water. I learned how to scull, it's single sculling. And I also do doubles and quads, but it's just like, there's a whole complex series of movements that you have to put together. And it's like a lot of sports, and
Well, that's a full body workout too.
it's a full
Yeah.
body workout, it's low impact.
Yeah.
And I'm into low impact because I don't like to run and stuff.
Right. I used to run, and now I look at people who run, and I'm thinking,
They look so miserable.
Yeah. They,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think we were meant to pound. In rowing, you can do repetitive stress too, but it's
Sure.
less.
Well, the thing to do is, you run for years, and then you kill your lower body. Then you start to row, and then
Kill
you
your
can kill your upper body too, right?
Yeah. But no, I mean, I row out of community rowing in Brighton
Oh, nice.
on the Charles, and there are people in their 80s and 90s that are rowing there.
My daughter-in-law started rowing in San Diego, and she told me that she gets up at 4:30 in the morning, and I just looked at her because,
Yeah.
I mean, the last time I remember, she liked to sleep late.
But it's getting out on the river in the morning. First of
Yeah.
all, the wind isn't usually up as much, and as it is
Peaceful.
later, it's very peaceful. There's wildlife.
Oh,
It's gorgeous.
yeah, it's a great way to start your day.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you do your rowing, and then you come back and you do all this busy stuff.
And I do hiking and dog walking.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I put a lot of my thinking about my business and about the IPNE, which I'm president of right now, into, I do a lot of that while I'm out, walking or
Thinking.
Yeah, I just try and,
Yeah, well, for me, I have to just clear my head sometimes and
Yeah.
put nothing in my head.
it's a good thing, yeah. Being, meditation is helpful to me too, so.
And you even have time to meditate.
Well, they say you only need a few minutes a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You're not one of these 20-minute meditators?
No.
No? Okay, so what have I not asked you that you might like
Oh,
to talk
boy.
about?
Well, we do have after the conference, IPNE has three major cooperative marketing events. One is the New England Independent Booksellers, and that's in Providence, Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the independent, cool and groovy little bookstores, and they all come and they see your books, and we charge a fee to exhibit, but it's much less than you would if you were exhibiting on your own. Members and a non-members fee. And then after that is the one and only Boston Book Festival. We'll be taking members' books down there. And you do have to be a member to exhibit at that.
Now, doesn't IPNE have a special deal for the book festival that you can join and exhibit for a special price?
Yeah, I think basically if you're a member of one of our affiliate organizations, it's not a join and exhibit, but it's if you're a member of, like, there's so many organizations, and if you do join IPNE, then the discount is about equal to your membership.
Which is great.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
the only reason you wouldn't want to join would be if you didn't want to join another organization.
Yeah.
But we try and go easy on the email and that kind of thing. So.
Right. And so the book festival, I know, has like just 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 people walking by or something. You know?
Yeah, I think they said 10,000, but that's right down in Copley Square. People are going because they want to buy books, they want to talk to authors. We have book signings at our booth, and we display books, and then there are 16 spots for signing. And the last one is the New England Library Association. That's right after the Boston.
Oh, really? So you're going to have a very busy fall.
Yeah, it's going to be busy.
So if people want to participate in this, they should take part.
Yes.
So, Charlotte, I want to thank you for being on the Author Connection today. And I'm going to just introduce someone who is not on the show at the moment, but we're going to add this for our YouTube version because we had some technical problems. But Malka Ahmed is from contemporarybooks.com, and she is doing a weekly book review, and she's got some great content, and I'll be introducing her shortly. So I'm going to just kind of give everybody a heads up. So if you want to see that, that will be on our new website, which is authorconnection.net. Probably next week you'll be able to see the book review segments as well. So we only have a few minutes left. And so this is, again, Jenny Hudson with the Author Connection. And again, it's the authorconnection.net, and I had Charlotte Pierce. And go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm Malcolm from contemporarybooks.com, and I'm excited to be back for another episode of the Author Connection. I don't know about you guys, but I love it when I find myself in the middle of a reading marathon. This past week, I've read 3 books back to back, stopping only because of my poor, tired eyes and lack of sleep. I'm a sucker for a good historical fictional tale, and the book cover for Echo from Matt Royal by Dave Reese caught my attention with its haunting black and white image of a woman and a city looming in the distance. Another intriguing thing to note about this book is that the author wrote this based upon a true story, so perhaps not entirely a fictional tale after all. This book is a sweeping saga about young Rebecca who finds herself head over heels in love with Saul, a boy from a very wealthy family. Told from the perspective of a much older 81-year-old Rebecca, she recalls in vivid detail the year 1951 when she was only 18 years old and falling in love for the first time. She's a bright college student living with her family in Montreal, Canada, when her path crosses the handsome and mysterious Saul. Readers will quickly discover that this is not a typical romance because once they try to get to know each other as a couple, their own respective backgrounds and family secrets begin to surface and threaten to tear them apart. Rebecca, who firmly believes that love is more than enough to overcome any of these issues that they face, her tale is a reminder of the exhilarating joy first love can bring and the deep scars it can leave behind. Rebecca is a very likable character. Even though she's very headstrong, she's very naive to think that love is more than enough to conquer all the complex issues such as class and religion. Despite all the roadblocks that she's faced in her quest to remain with Saul, she fights hard and passionately in the love that she believes she deserves. From the opening pages, I was hooked on her narrative. Generally, I'm not a fan of prologues, but the prologue in this book was executed perfectly in the sense that it made me hungry for the story. The tale begins in 2014 right here in Boston, Mass. And 81-year-old Rebecca reaches back into her memory to conjure up the Montreal that she knew in 1951. Rich in details, along with vivid descriptions to bring many different scenes and characters to life, the story gives just enough backstory on her family so that the characters leap from the page during each scene. This aspect is key because the story deals with many class issues, and having intimate knowledge about Rebecca's middle-class family is vital for when she's introduced into Saul's world of wealth and upper-class privilege. The author does a very good job at showing readers how Rebecca struggles to try and find a place into Saul's world. For example, when both of them are dining at a fancy restaurant, Rebecca comments that she felt like she'd sneak into a theater without paying. Stella is a very complicated character. From the very beginning, as a reader, you find that there is something very mysterious about him. He's very mistrusting of others and has a very complicated relationship with his own family. But when terrifying family secrets come to the surface, Rebecca tries her hardest to make him believe that her love and support is all that he needs. The conclusion of the book still has me reeling. Echo from Mount Royale is mostly a tale about a young girl maturing and recognizing the kind of love she really deserves versus a boy meets girl type of tale. Full of vivid descriptions, crisp dialogue, and a headstrong female protagonist at its center, this book left me emotionally exhausted but equally sad to see it end. I always say that the mark of a good book is when you find yourself transported from your current setting and immersed into the book. Well, with this one, I was right there with Rebecca the whole time. I have a paperback version of this book, but if you have a Kindle, the book is on sale for 99 cents over at Amazon.com. So definitely grab yourself a copy if you can. And when you finish the book, definitely stop by over at contemporarybooks.com and let me know what you think about Rebecca's tale. So that's it for this week. I'll see you guys next time with another great book recommendation and probably still recovering from another book hangover.
Shows.